Graham Plattner Reddit comments crazy. So I saw these. If you guys don't know Graham Plattner, a guy that I'm going to be interviewing pretty soon. They found his old Reddit account and it had some, I mean, some of you would call some of this stuff based, but it's like controversial. It was nothing like wild for a Redditor, but it's stuff that would be controversial in like a general election. I mean, you know, if he had said it now, I would be more disappointed because one of the things I really liked about him was how he responded to that Trump voter. But like on his Reddit account 10 years ago, he was like, these dumb Southern hicks are stupid as hell or whatever. It was way more not the candidate that I was be excited to like be as a transformational, bring people together, focus on economic stuff. However, I mean, we'll watch it here. I think he disavowed this, and the shit you said on Reddit 10 years ago is not really, I think, super indicative. Plus, you know, I gotta be honest with you here. If I gotta choose between a guy who had some, I don't know, angry Reddit posts and then a woman who doesn't even know what Reddit is because she's 98 years old. It's like, I'll take the person who got in the posting arena. I am going to ask him about it. I think I would be remiss not to.
There's a story that's broken about comments I made on Reddit in an earlier part of my life. As I read through them, I read things that I absolutely do not agree with. I read through and I see things that, words and statements that I abhor. I also see the trajectory of my life. When I got back from Afghanistan in 2011, I stayed in the Army for another year. I got out in 2012. Some of the worst comments I made, the things that I think are least defensible, that I wouldn't even try to defend, come from that time. I had spent the bulk of my 20s in the infantry, deploying overseas.
This is like the shit people say when I pull up their chat history. When I can start scrolling back in your chats and you guys can turn the face like this and go.
It's a very masculine world. When I was in, women weren't allowed in the infantry. It's changed now, and that's a good thing. But when I got out, I still had the crude humor, the dark feelings, the offensive language that really was a hallmark of the infantry when I was in it. I made comments that I'm not happy about, that I do not agree with, but they came from a time and place in my life. And as I watch, or as I read through the comments that were released, I can see myself changing. My language gets less crude, my thoughts and my feelings get a lot less kind of rough around the edges. I do get almost more disillusioned though, and it's important to know that this was a time in my life where I was struggling deeply. I had all of the things that come with serving in a war, in 2 wars.
Man, first of all, this is powerful, but I do want to say, like, is he trying to imply that his job in some way was harder than mine? Because as a voter, that's going to piss me off. Okay, is he trying to imply that coming back as a veteran is somehow more difficult or more damaging than being a streamer? I want to make sure that's not, because if he does that, he's lost my vote instant. And we all understand there is a tier list here of difficulty.
That I eventually began to not believe in at all. It left me feeling very unmoored. It left me feeling very disillusioned, very alienated, and very isolated. And I think like a lot of people, I went on the internet to post stupid things and get in fights and find some form of community in some way, some outlet for my feelings, for my rage, for my isolation. It wasn't until I found actual community that all went away. The reason that I stopped posting on Reddit around 2020 and 2021 is because that was the point in my life where I had found this. I had moved back to my hometown. I'd found community. I'd started a business. I'd met someone to fall in love with. I'd been able to really begin to feel connected again.
Is he saying that the only way I can get some of my Redditors to stop being so toxic is they have to find love? That's not gonna happen. The only way I can get them to stop being so mentally cooked about every issue is that they gotta find love. We need the dating service.
Coming back to Maine, moving back to my hometown, reconnecting with the community that I'm from, building real friendships, building real networks, real relationships with people. That helped cut my disillusion. I went from thinking that people were bad to knowing that people are good. I went from thinking that there was no hope to having nothing but hope. A hope that is rooted in the fact that it was in my community here in Sullivan, Maine, that I got to come home and build a nice life. And while I won't defend things I said in the past, I will just say that if it wasn't for that entire journey, I would not be who I am today, and I'm incredibly proud of who I am today. And so for those of you who have read these things and been offended, have read these things and seen someone
I
that you don't
respect that.
recognize, I am deeply sorry. Just know that it's not reflective at all of who I am. I don't want you to judge me on the dumbest thing I ever wrote on the internet. I would prefer if people could judge me on the person I am today.
I think that's a fair response. I mean, I'll talk to him more about it. We're trying to set up this interview. It's going to happen, I think, relatively soon. But I feel like that's a totally fair response. Not that there's like not some stuff that I would strongly disagree with, but there was nothing insane. His Reddit name was P Hustle though. Which is like, that's almost a problem. Who is that guy? I made a little video about him, but he's the guy running for Senate in Maine against, on the Democratic side, a woman who would be the oldest first-term senator ever elected. And on the Republican side, a woman who in the 90s said she would be a 2-term senator and done. She was gonna go in, fix term limits, and get out. And instead, she's still there. It's been 25 years. It's been 30 years. And she's still there. She's still working on it. she's still working. It's hard to fix. She's still working. Job's not done. Job's not done. What does she mean by fixing it? As in like establishing or voting for a 2-term limit for senators. Senatorial terms are already 6 years. That would be 12 years in office, which is fine. I think it would be a fine limit. Bro. There's a part 2 to this. The world never, ever, ever in the modern day, like social media dunk economy, ever rewards just being earnest and apologizing. So I really liked his response on the Reddit thing. And I, in fact, was working on a video where I was like, listen, the Reddit thing, some of these comments I think are lame, but we have to understand where we are. And I think I can still support him. Then as I'm working on the video, we get hit with a round 2. It's really annoying, actually. It's really annoying. So here's the round 2, okay? So apparently his sister's 10-year wedding anniversary just happened. To celebrate it, they were playing an old video of him from the wedding 10 years ago. Okay, he's drunk at the party and he's singing Miley Cyrus's Wrecking Ball. Okay, so let's watch the clip. So the main problem, we're gonna we'll talk about what he says in a second, but the main problem here, and you can possibly identify it, is that this is like a Nazi skull and bones. This is not like a normal skull and bones. It's a very specific one. In fact, you might recognize it from this, okay? This is Inglourious Basterds. It's the same one. Or from the Are We the Baddies sketch, okay?
At least for a few hours.
Why skulls, though?
What?
Why skulls?
Well, maybe they're the skulls of our enemies.
Maybe. But is that how it comes across? I mean, it doesn't say next to the skull, you know, yeah, we killed him, but trust us, this guy was horrid.
Well, no, but...
I mean, what does skulls make you think of?
Okay, so, you know, maybe he's a fan of the sketch, maybe. Well, I'll watch his response in a second. But obviously, having this tattoo for 17... Now, we'll watch his response. He says he got this while he was drunk on shore leave in Croatia from the military. He got this on a tattoo parlor and is not a Nazi. He thought it was a skull and bones. He thought it was a cool skull and bones. Now, I actually believe that. The problem I have is more that it has been 17 years now. The idea that he didn't know for 17 years is the problem. Not for me so much, because, you know, I grew up on military bases. The idea that a bunch of military people got drunk and got a skull and bones or something is not rare to me. My dad, thankfully, doesn't have this problem, but my dad did get drunk in the military and got a dolphin yin-yang tattoo on his ankle. My dad is like a serious, stern military man. He has no interest in any Asian philosophy. Or dolphins, but he's gotten drunk, stupid tattoos, all right? So for me, I was less inclined to think this wasn't a stupid tattoo, but it's frustrating, right? It's frustrating to have a candidate that I'm excited about and want to support and want to evangelize to other people, because I believe in a broad, encompassing economic justice platform. Do some, even if this is not intentional. That's what he says. He claims it's not intentional, and it's quite possible that is true, especially because, you know, I do want to say, when I was researching the other video and reading his Reddit comments are all like deeply anti-fascist, almost like militaristic. He's like, you need an AR-15 to stop the fascists. I think he called that guy, Richard Wolff, Nazi scum. I don't want him near me or whatever. So the idea that he's like secretly a Nazi, but his hidden Reddit account is not. I don't know. But what comes across to me is kind of stupid. And it's like, as a marketer who's like, this guy's gonna have such a harder time running in a general election now. It's so dumb. And you could have just gotten rid of this tattoo. It's like a big unforced error. So let's watch response.
Some of your political opponents are telling reporters that tattoo has a Nazi affiliation. And I would like to know, is that accurate? Are you a secret Nazi?
I am not a secret Nazi. Actually, if you read through my Reddit comments, I think you can pretty much figure out where I stand on Nazism,
right?
And anti-Semitism.
Yeah, I just want to be clear. Like, yeah, while his comments are inflammatory, they're the complete opposite of what like a neo-Nazi would have. They're the absolute opposite.
In 2007, I was a machine gun section leader with Kilo Company, 3rd Battalion, 8th Marines. We were on the 2-2 Mu. And it was my 3rd deployment. My previous 2 had been to Fallujah and then Ramadi, 2006. And we went ashore in Split, Croatia, myself and a few of the other machine gun squad leaders. And we got very inebriated. And we did what Marines on liberty do. And we decided to go get a tattoo. And we went to a tattoo parlor in Split, Croatia. And we chose a terrifying looking skull and crossbones off the wall because we were Marines, and skulls and crossbones are a pretty standard military thing. And we got those tattoos, and then we all moved on with our lives. And I actually joined the Army after that, where I got I had to go to MEPS. I got screened. Later on,
he goes on, but that's the explanation. So I don't know. It's tough for me. I mean, listen, I thought about it more today, and I thought about the moment we're in as a country and like what Trump gets away with on a daily basis. I still think he's the best candidate out of Maine. I don't think he's a Nazi, but man, I think he's dumber than I thought. And I get annoyed. That we don't allow people to apologize and grow. I get annoyed. Like, the vibe I get, unless this guy's like running an incredible con here, and he's just, everything he's saying is a lie, and he doesn't. The vibe I get is that what he's saying is true, is that he was edgy and dumb for a long time. And he would join the military, and he came out, and he was disillusioned, and he has gotten his life back together since being in Maine, where they don't have any, I haven't seen anything. There's no opposition research here that he's done anything since going back to Maine. He's a oyster farmer. He owns a small business, and his platform is good. I agree with his platform. I'm frustrated, all right? That's why I'm frustrated. I am going to still try to talk to him. That was the plan. We have not, I assume they're dealing with a lot of fallout from this because they have not responded to the email since we were originally, they were like responding back and forth, and they haven't responded in 3 days. We'll see. I'm going to talk and try to learn more, but it was a frustrating thing to see today because this is one of the people I was getting excited about. And I do think this brand of movement can work. This type of politics can work. And just the idea that like, it wasn't just dumb Reddit post, but a literal Nazi skull and crossbones on your pec for 17 years. It's just frustrating me. I'm just frustrated. I don't know. But he said he's removing it, obviously. Obviously. Again, but I do want to set the stage. I want to understand that, like, I want to be more clear here about why I am trying to balance the good and bad here and look at the platform and understand, okay? The reason I'm trying to do this is because I think we are in a really precarious moment as a country. And I think that someone like Janet Mills, who is going to be the oldest first-term senator ever elected, if she even wins, and who has vetoed like minimum wage for farm workers, and who has blocked their ability to even form a union, is very not moving forward in any way. It's like she's not going to be, even if she can win. And very likely she is like so uninspiring that she will lose again to Susan Collins, who has ran Maine. Maine is a state that voted for Kamala Harris and has a Republican Susan Collins as senator for decades now, and said she would be a 2-term senator in the 90s and is still running. So it's like my options are so limited here. And if this guy truly is sorry about what he did, didn't know, and is trying to run on a different platform, then I have to give that some credence, or I have no options. So that's where I'm at.